Welcome to another episode of the Drive Marketing. And today, Corey and I are getting to sit and visit with an old friend of mine, Luke Wood in Kansas. Luke, how you doing?
Doing well. Just kind of wrapping up Christmas and moving on to the next deal. So doing great.
There you go. Good. And the next deal for us to visit about is the upcoming Cattlemen sort, Maternal in the Making Female Sale. Hey, tell us real quick, how did this ever get kicked off? What is the Cattleman sort all about?
So on the Cattlemen sort, we've been selling our bulls at live auction down in Opie, Kansas here for the past 3 years, and we had a couple deals that we needed to combine, myself and then Doug Steele up in Anita, Iowa, and just kind of came underneath that heading for the bull sale. And then as we move into these breds and stuff, we just kind of combined it and run underneath the Cattlemen sort and been working well.
That's good. You talked about you and Doug kind of joining up here and just using the Cattlemen sort name to market underneath. I know you've sold bulls in the last 3 or 4 years by live auction. You've made a habit of selling some pretty high end open heifers, and now we're starting to get into market some of these bred females. And what is the offering? Is that primarily semi-females, Angus females, or a combination of? What are we looking at?
Oh, you're right, Brad. I mean, pretty much a combination of that. The bulk of our breeding program will be Sim Angus. As we work through those, we'll have some 3/4 and then some higher percentage stuff. But the bulk of them will be half bloods, running these good semi bulls on Angus cows and working through it that way.
I gotcha. And you just talked about some good semi bulls. You know, I guess I took for granted knowing you and for a long time and been friends with you for a long time. But some people don't know the bulls behind Luke Wood and High Prairie Genetics. And tell us about a couple of those resident herd sires that you run there.
You bet. Probably the most noteworthy stuff that we're running would be that WC Double Down bull, an executive order son. He would have sired the double up bull that was reserved down there at Cattlemen's Congress last year, and just doing a great job for us. The females, they're young, the ones we have in production, but they're doing a great job. Some Cavanese with some real performance and some real look about them. And then the other one that's been tried and true, he's been Select Sires and Accelerated Genetics high or leading semen seller in the Simmental division for a while now, would be that fully loaded 39D. We acquired him from Diamond M up in Hiawatha, Mark and Matt Mueller. So be a full brother to load it up and doing a great job for us, real consistent.
Absolutely. You hit on running those high quality Simmental bulls on your breeding program, and these Angus cows aren't any slouch either. On the maternal side of this pedigree, throughout this sale, you've chose to use some express genetics mainly in these cattle. And I mean, has he just had good luck with them, or is it access to them? What is it about that express female that you think complement these two herd bulls?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, the genetics are there, right? I mean, they've got a large pool and they cool hard, and I mean, what makes it to the pen is going to be good. And then, Bob May sourced a couple sets of these cows for us that I wouldn't have had access to without Bob. So I appreciate that end of it on his part. So yeah, I'd say a combination of both the pedigrees and getting to get in on a couple sets there.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. And we talk about the Sim Angus, and it's not just with you, but guys that we've had on that's utilized the Drive Marketing right now. We hear this Sim Angus, or we hear this Main Angus talk a lot. Mm-hmm. What is it about these cattle for you, especially in the Sim Angus deal, that makes them so versatile? What is it you think that that you can drive that home to these guys?
I mean, really, you've just got that bred in predictability. I mean, when you've got a good pedigree, good looking Angus cow, I mean, I hate to say it, but it gets pretty simple on our end. Whether you're using main bulls or semi bulls, I mean, them cow families that's time tested, they just kind of go out and do their job. And really, I mean, when we tie it back to that cattleman sort deal, we're selling a lot of half-blood Sem-Angus bulls into rancher country that are going on to commercial black cows. Most of them guys are keeping them quarter blood females back just because of that. I mean, you get some extra pounds and some extra longevity, but really they're just more predictable.
Right. Yeah, they're more predictable. And I mean, and just like yourself, I mean, just for your bred heifers alone, whether a lot of these things will be utilized by Simmental breeders, or did you find some club calf guys digging around here for this high quality stuff? What is it?
You're right. You hit the nail on the head with that. We don't try to dictate what people are going to go and do with them, but there's a lot of, I mean, based on them being right there in Iowa, right south of I-80, just about 30 miles west of Des Moines there's a lot of club calf guys that'll dip in there and find one or two they like that they want to throw a little heat at or this or that. And then there's guys that'll take them and breed them up within a Simmental deal. So, I mean, it's been about 50-50, you know.
Right.
But I think tying it back to that predictability, there's enough cow behind them, enough performance, enough growth, and this and that they can stand up to whichever way you want to take them.
Right. Yeah. And then here we are sitting here tonight visiting about these Sem-Angus females. I don't know about you, Corey, but you just dive right into the lot one female. And I mean, he comes slamming in there in road gear with a purebred female that is easy on the eyes.
Absolutely. A daughter of that WC Double Down bull, back out of the 22D cow, and she's bred to that full brother to load it up, the fully loaded sire.
You bet. I mean, and this one's, I mean, she's kind of special to us. I mean, it's no secret. I mean, Abby showed this one's dam and had a good run with her. We was reserve in Denver with her, and then went on to win Fort Worth that year when it was the national show. But just, I guess for us, she's a little different for a purebred, just in terms of how she hits you phenotypically. And we haven't been able to work her just in abundance, but what we've got out of her has been accepted very well. I guess a full brother to this to the lot one female would have been our high selling bull last year down at the Cattlemen Sort Bull Sale, bringing 32.5. Had a full sister fall-born heifer, brought real good money. Chase Ratliff traded that one for us at $30,000. And then I guess Bob and Brock May, they've got a maternal brother to her that they ran on some cows this summer, be sired by Relentless. So it's not a real long track record, but what we've got back out of that 22D female, they've been well received for sure.
And how was 22D bred, Luke?
You bet. So that 22D would be that Yardley High Regard bull, back on the Black Blaze 5T female, which would be a macho. That one's probably most noted. I think they drug her around as like a cow calf pair. One Louisville did some big things with her. That'd be Mark Mueller and that Carrie Aubrey.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep, I remember that female. Yep, and then we're going to head into lot 8 out of the Immortal Sire Great Ones Broker and back out of the 8033 cow.
I mean, these brokers, I guess they're just kind of timeless. I know there's a little bit of rap on them for having a little heat and a little bit of this, but I guess I'll put up with a little bit of that for all the good that he puts into them. They generally, almost without question, they outproduce themselves. And I don't care if you're breeding them up semi or if you're going to throw them into I don't know if I want to use the term club calf. You guys probably have a better term. I mean, whether you're making
more of a composite side of it.
There you go. That's right, Brett. Yeah, composite. they just flat work in that deal. So I don't know. We've had a tremendous amount of success with broker. We've ran some broker sons, and I don't have that much of it left, but we'll still breed, 20 units of it a year. We like it.
Yeah, that stuff's starting to get to be expensive to where it's tough to AI with it like you got used to.
You bet.
This one sells bred to she's AI to the WC Double Down bull.
She's bred to the Double Down, and that's most of the brokers will take that way. We've never had many brokers with a whole lot of birth weight, but that Double Down, he will moderate that birth weight and still keep them good looking and hairy, and head and neck set will be right. So yeah, most all the brokers will that we keep around will breed them that way, and we've had a fair amount of success. Shoot, we pictured 3 kind of highlight bulls after these breds with when we had mirrors up there, and one of them would have been a Double Down back out of a broker. So that cross has been working real well for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're going to bust into this lot 11. Our first 3/4 blood deal here kind of shows you what you get when you put get that extra shot of semi in there. Out of the Focus bull and the 8064 cow, 3/4 blood bred to Double Down.
You bet. I mean, this one's granddam would be the R547 cow, which would be a loot back on Doug Steele's original K006 Chimera Katie cow. So there's a lot of good stuff bred into this deal here. The pays to believes that we've had out of that R547 dam. I mean, we've sold a lot of them as show heifers and sold them high. We've been able to afford to keep a few around to utilize within the breeding program, and they've always worked and worked well. I think, Abby, we were reserve at the Kansas State Fair a couple years ago with a full sieve to this one's dam, and all that Focus bull. He's a 2020 back on a Prophet Melody, and we were able to work a deal with the fellas over in Tecumseh and acquire a semen share on him, and he's worked real well. I mean, in terms of Simmental cattle, I mean, soft made, loose structured. I mean, you kind of see it when you look at that picture. Got some looseness of skeleton, got some bone, got some hair. They've been working pretty well for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she looks like she's got the extra flexibility and sure got some fleshing ability for a 3/4 blood Simmental for sure.
I'd say so. I mean, and the guy can step in and 3/4 blood like this. I mean, if you want to go ahead and breed her to make herd bulls, I think you can do it. And if you want to stay a little bit more refined, you can run into that composite deal, or even take her up and make some purebred show heifers. She's kind of got the extras about her. And then, I mean, there's a lot of proven pedigree behind that one. So I'm pretty proud of her.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. So then we go to the lot 14, I think. Sim Angus female. Looks like a pays to believe out of R547 that you just mentioned a minute ago. So we've got just a little bit of some maternal sisters. Is that what this is?
So this one,
there's some.
Yeah, this one will be a full sister to the lot 11's dam.
Okay.
And we worked that old R547 Chimera Katie cow kind of till the bitter end. I've got 2 small replacements. I'll be full sieves to this one, and that's it. There's no more. So, you're kind of getting in on the tail end of this deal on something that's pretty proven. That R547, like I said, we had it goes back a while, but in 2014, we had a broker R547 that would have been reserve at Junior Nationals, and then won our state fair. Did a fair amount of winning. Well, heck, that one I'm talking about now is actually the dam of the bull, the double down bull I mentioned a minute ago. That's kind of a highlight for this year that we pictured along with these breds. So, I mean, that Kimura Katy cow family, it's not one of those Angus cow families that's been branched out and split up a bunch. It runs pretty straight up, and they're working. Them Kimura Katys are working for some of the biggest names in the business that flat know how to get after it. So.
And what was that? Your Katy cow? What was she sired by?
She'd be a Cold War back to the original Luke Sugar cow. So she'd be a Cold War.
You bet. Yep. And the pays to believe cows in production, boy, up our way, you hear a lot of positives about them, I guess, from an udder quality standpoint. And
that's what I was getting ready to say. They get dinged a little bit. I mean, I'm not pro or con on that API index, but they get dinged a little bit here and there on that API. But man, good uddered, the right amount of milk, and they just read longevity. You know, they're loose about their spine. They get and they go. Haven't had much, if any, calving trouble out of this. I think that pays to believe deal. I think a guy needs a few of those around if he's breeding some semis for sure.
Absolutely. Right. Hey, then we're going to get into this lot 16 female out of the popular warning sire Relentless, back out of the 49-55 cow and bred to fully loaded.
You bet. It's really no secret what that Relentless has done in kind of the show ring Simmental world, and we've bred on some of them with a fair amount of success. I think he'll kind of step in line there, kind of how Broker did, and if you got the right kind of cow behind him, I think those things are going to go ahead and produce. This one's kind of neat with that Jilt 49-55 cow behind her. She's sired by Keneally Consensus. And I will tell you, as you know, every year when we're putting together the bull sale or putting together the bred sale, those Keneally Consensus sired purebred Angus females bred to Simmental bulls. I mean, it just works and works and works to the point where, heck, I mean, that semen doesn't cost a lot. And I stepped in there and bought a fair amount of it just to have it as insurance back on that Consensus bull, because it works in this Sim Angus program for sure. I guess another deal on this lot 16. Oh, it's been a few years back. We had a full sib bull to this one, sired by Relentless, obviously. Went out to Dahlquist Farms out by Council Grove, Kansas. And I mean, I was through them calves early this year and then through them again late, and just flat out doing a lot of good things. So I think, I don't know, I might be crazy for offering this one up, but I think it should work for sure.
Well, it sure looks like in that picture she would. And those Relentless daughters, again, not sound like a broken record, but boy, up our way, they've been making terrific cows and a lot of look to them, and they sure put a show ring presence in their offspring. We're going to move on here to a red baldy Luke. Here we got proof is in the pudding. A daughter of Fully Loaded, and she'd be out of a unregistered broker Angus cow on the bottom side, and she sells bred to Double Down.
You bet. Yeah, I tell you, we've got a handful of these Fully Loadeds on the sale, and you see one, you see them all really with the Fully Loaded progeny. But I went ahead and put this red one on here. She's kind of a standout, and I don't know. Like I said previously, we we've got fully loaded lease to select sires, and they kind of called me in a dead panic here a year and a half, 2 years ago. Said, "Hey, this thing, we ran some more genetic tests on this deal, and he came positive for this Red Charlie gene." I said, "Okay, well, what's Red Charlie?" They said, "Well, it's really nothing other than he won't breed homozygous black. He'll breed heterozygous black." I said, "So you mean he'll make some red semis?" And they said, "Yeah." So that was an overall net positive on him. And this one here kind of shows it. I don't know, that red baldy thing within the Simmental deal. If you get a good one that's got this kind of substance to her, they're generally in high demand. So
yeah, and really, I mean, who doesn't like a good looking redhead?
amen.
Yeah, he said,
You don't
amen.
have to tell me why.
That is something that I think's unique that I've noticed the trend lately in the Simmentals, actually seem like all breeds really, the increase in value in red cattle. And for so many years, we were conditioned to think that was a deduction, you know. In our younger days, Corey and then Luke, we're all probably relative to the same age. I know Corey's older than us by more than he'd admit, but but you know, early on, black-hided cattle, they ruled the roost, and Brandon Horn has forever changed this industry in terms of bringing silvers and yellows and that color cattle to the forefront. And Simmental, I mean, here they jump in the colored wagon and say, "Hey, this red deal is where we want to be, or try to be, or it's acceptable." And so it just blows me away. And just our lifetime, the acceptability of red, and in terms of quality, just outsell a good black one every day of the week.
Yeah.
You're right, and not to tie this bred sale back to that bull sale too much, but I mean, the heat tolerance of them red-hided cattle, there's something behind that for sure. So
Right.
once again, I mean, back to that fully loaded bull, I mean, there for a minute I thought I was getting a bad phone call. In reality, it was actually a net positive for sure. So
Right. Yeah, that's good. Hey, so let's go over that real quick. It's the Cattlemen Sort Maternal in the Making sale to be held on SC. On just coming up here in a short few days, the December 29th, 2021, held on SC. Cattlemen Sort. Sale contacts Luke Wood and Doug Steele. Anybody else been through these things? Or hey, where are these things at if a guy wants to jump in the truck, come talk to you and look at them? Where are they at?
You bet. They're located at Doug Steele's place there in Anita, Iowa. Be about 35 miles back west of Des Moines, just south of 80. If anybody's familiar with that Cow Palace deal there around Anita, we're about 5 miles from that. So, but if you want to come through them, I'd sure encourage you to reach out to me, Luke Wood, 913-775-3762, or Doug Steele. His cell number is 641-740-0121. As far as anybody being through them, I know Otto's planning on being through there within the next 24, 48 hours, and a couple other guys have reached out. So I'm sure word will travel fast once guys start going through them.
That's good. And it's just the inevitable question that we talk about a lot on here, but I think it's always warranted just from your side as a seller. What about these guys across the country this time of year getting these things trucked somewhere? What do you have planned in terms of trucking, Luke?
Well, I guess, I mean, it's kind of a blanket statement, but we're going to help them get them wherever they need to go, up to $300. And I know at this point in the game, I mean, a lot of guys are going south to Oklahoma City. A lot of guys are going back west. I mean, we'll work with you however we can work with you. We want to get them to you. Don't let that impede your purchase. And if you're doubtful on that part, just reach out, call me. We'll get something put together.
Good deal. Well, Luke, it's been a pleasure getting to visit with you tonight and go through just a highlight of a very high quality set of bred females to sell here at the end of 2021. But good luck to you. The Cattlemen Sort Female Sale held on SC Online. The Cattlemen Sort Maternal in the Making, December the 29th, 2021. So, Luke, thank you for choosing to use Drive Marketing. Good luck in your sale. And hey, if I don't see you, maybe I'll get to see that sweet daughter of yours there in Oklahoma City somewhere.
I reckon you'll see Abby around. And I just want to say I appreciate you guys carving out the time and kind of walking me through this. It's a little outside of my nature to jump on here and do this, but I appreciate it. And I sure want to get these females in front of as many people as we can. I think they'll do everybody some good. So appreciate you guys taking the time for sure.
Absolutely. And we appreciate you using us, and good luck in the sale.
Thank you, fellas.
Thanks a lot,
Amen.
Luke.